Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. My name is Masar Uzma with the metric number 2310658. Ziauddin Sardar is a British Pakistani scholar. Why? Because he was born in Dipalpur, Pakistan, but then migrated to Britain with his father at a young age. Sardar has always been deeply interested in the future, particularly that of Muslim societies. To examine the future, he delves into the present, and to understand the present, he delves into the past. Sardar has authored numerous books. One of it is Introducing Cultural Studies. After I have read the graphic version of this book that have been published in 1997, I noticed one thing that captured my attention, which is media representation. So today I will discuss how media representation shapes identity, the globalization of media and culture, and the language of film and television by highlighting the spread of Western culture influence our world and especially this generation. Let us begin with how media representation shapes identity by influencing how individuals perceive themselves and others. Sardar states, globalization promotes a dominant set of cultural practices and values, one vision of how life is to be lived at the expense of all others. This refers to how globalization spreads a dominant culture vision rooted in Western values and practices, which often become the standard of living. There are several consequences of the global spread of Western culture through media, but I will just share two of it. Firstly, media promotes Western values and practices that overshadow local traditions. For example, standard of beauty applied to women. In Malaysia, the advertisements often feature fair-skinned models, promoting the idea that lighter skin is more desirable. This affects women's self-esteem, particularly among darker-skinned Malaysians. Some people even consume whitening supplements despite knowing these products could harm their health due to the harmful ingredients. Secondly, globalization weakens indigenous traditions. Indigenous communities such as Orang Asli are rarely represented in mainstream media. When they are shown, they are often portrayed in historical settings, ignoring their modern realities. I have encountered an indigenous individual who uses TikTok. However, this misrepresentation encloses indigenous voices, reinforcing societal prejudice and limiting their visibility in broader cultural narrative. Media representation significantly shaped societal norms, expectations, and values. Addressing biases and promoting diverse, authentic portrayals can empower isolated groups, or also known as marginalized groups, challenge harmful stereotypes, and create a more inclusive global culture. The second one is the relationship between media and culture. Globalization refers to how the world is becoming more interconnected. It allows for sharing and learning from others, but it can also lead to one culture, which is Western culture, to become dominant and overshadow local traditions and values. Sardar notes that the trend towards the universalization of Western culture has been aided by Hollywood, television, satellite, pop music, fashion, and global news. Networks like CNN, News International, and BBC World Service. Media facilitates the global exchange of cultural practices, traditions, and ideas. For example, K-pop has gained fans worldwide, influencing fashion, language, and lifestyle. People follow Korean trends and even learn the language. The media industry works through four key components being mentioned by Sardar. The first one is the message. This refers to the content or idea being communicated. In a globalized world, messages in media often reflect universal themes such as love or justice. that resonate across cultures. My representation, for instance, focuses on media representation but also promotes cultural values relevant to Malaysia. The second is the audience, the target group who engaging with the content whether by watching, reading, or even listening. Media producers must consider global audiences, diverse cultural backgrounds, languages, and preference. For example, I'm a Malaysian, but why don't I do my presentation in Malay instead? Because my target audience is not limited to Malaysians. So I need to use the universal language, which is English, to ensure broader understanding. The third one is the technology. The innovations, tools, or platforms are used to create and deliver the messages. Advances in technology have broken geographical barriers, allowing media to travel globally. Technology enables real-time sharing of cultural events, news, and trends in fostering global culture. For instance, I'm sharing my thoughts with a global audience through platforms like YouTube. And the last one is the final look. This refers to how media content is designed and presented. The final look is often influenced by global trends such as minimalist or even aesthetic designs. Finally, let us discuss the unique language of film and television. Stardust states, film and television have their own language with distinct syntax and grammar. This means that film and television communicate meaning visually through techniques such as editing. The grammar refers to the technical elements such as camera angles or even sound. For example, a close-up shot might highlight an emotional moment emphasizing individualism, where syntax refers to how these elements are combined to create meaning. This includes editing, pacing, whether it is fast or slow, and narrative structures, how events, characters, and conflicts are presented and resolved. Western media often emphasizes values such as individualism, heroism, and archetypes. For example, superhero movies like The Avengers focus on individual characters achieving greatness. On the other hand, film Joker use dark colors to emphasize the sense of gloom and mental illness. The clown makeup contrasts with the film's dark tones symbolize themes of chaos and rebellion against societal norms. In the context of globalization, good film blend diverse cultural storytelling techniques such as the South Korea film Parasite combines a Western thriller elements with a Korean societal narratives. While this hybridization allows it to appeal to global audience, it still needs to have the Western elements to make it global. Many local creators abandon their cultural elements to meet global expectations, which can reduce or even lose the regional identities. Non-Western films increasingly avoid culture-specific symbols or languages to be universally relatable. In conclusion, the globalization has brought both opportunities and challenges while it facilitates the exchange of ideas and connects diverse cultures. It also risks promoting a single dominant narrative that overshadows local traditions and values. To preserve cultural diversity and authenticity, we must balance global and local influences, ensuring that media reflects a broader idea of identities and traditions. From an Islamic perspective, Muslims are encouraged to maintain their identity while promoting the sharing of knowledge and understanding. Allah mentions in the Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13, O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female, and made you into nations and tribes so that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. This verse highlights the importance of the diversity in cultures and identities, which contrasts with globalization's tendency to prioritize a single dominant culture, often leading to the erasure of others. This is all for me. Thank you.